What made you disobey a direct order during a firefight? I found out when our convoy got ambushed outside Kandahar and my lieutenant ordered us to abandon wounded civilians. It was July 2011, my second deployment to Afghanistan. I was a specialist, been in country for about 4 months. We were escorting a supply convoy through this sketchy valley when everything went sideways. First indication of trouble was our lead vehicle hitting an IED. Massive explosion, smoke everywhere. Then the small arms fire started coming from the ridgeline. Classic L-shaped ambush. Our Humvee took cover behind some rocks while the gunner returned fire. That's when we heard screaming from the civilian truck that had been traveling parallel to our convoy. Afghan family, father, mother, 3 kids. Their truck had caught shrapnel from the IED blast. Blood everywhere. Kids crying, total chaos. They were maybe 50 meters from our position. My team leader, Sergeant Collins, was already moving to help them when Lieutenant Parker came over the radio. All units, we have wounded friendly forces. Focus on our casualties only. Do not engage with civilian vehicles. I looked at Collins. He looked at me. We could see those kids bleeding out in real time. The father was frantically waving for help, trying to drag his wife from the wreckage. Lieutenant Parker repeated the order. I say again, focus on military casualties. We do not have resources for civilian aid. The firefight was still going strong. Taliban fighters on the ridge were keeping us pinned down pretty good. Our medic was working on the guys from the lead vehicle who were in bad shape. But here's the thing. I'd been a volunteer EMT back home in Ohio before I enlisted. Spent 3 years running ambulance calls. I knew what internal bleeding looked like. That woman wasn't going to make it another 10 minutes without help. Her youngest kid, maybe 5 years old, had a piece of metal sticking out of his leg, femoral artery area. Collins grabbed my arm. Parker's right. We can't spare anyone right now. Those are our orders. I watched that little boy trying to wake up his unconscious mother. Something inside me just snapped. Orders or no orders, I wasn't letting kids die when I had the training to save them. I told Collins I was going out there. He shook his head. Don't do it, Jake. Parker will have your ass court-martialed. Disobeying direct orders in a combat zone. That's serious time. I checked my rifle, grabbed the first aid kit from our vehicle. Sometimes you've got to choose between following orders and doing what's right. Started low crawling toward that truck. Parker's voice exploded over the radio. Specialist Davis, return to your position immediately. That is a direct order. I kept crawling. Bullets kicking up dust all around me. Made it to the truck, started working on the mom first. Pressure bandages, IV fluids, basic trauma care. The dad was speaking broken English, thanking me over and over. Got her stabilized enough to move, then worked on the kid with a leg wound, applied a tourniquet, stopped the bleeding. Whole family loaded into our Humvee within about 12 minutes. Parker was waiting when we got back to the fob 2 hours later, face redder than I'd ever seen it. Davis, you're under arrest for willful disobedience of orders in a combat situation. Spent 3 days in detention while they decided what to do with me. Expected to lose rank, maybe face a court-martial. Military doesn't mess around with insubordination during firefights. Then something interesting happened. The Afghan family I'd saved turned out to be pretty connected. Father was a district governor, well respected in the region. Word spread fast about the American soldier who risked his life for Afghan civilians. Local tribal leaders started reaching out to our command, offering intelligence, cooperation, goodwill gestures. The story made it up to brigade level, then division. Apparently it was exactly the kind of hearts and minds success story the brass had been looking for. Lieutenant Parker got quietly transferred to a desk job at Bagram. New lieutenant arrived who actually listened to his NCOs and specialists instead of just barking orders. I got called into the colonel's office expecting punishment. Instead, he pinned an Army Commendation Medal on my chest with Valor device. Citation read something about exceptional courage and selfless service in the face of enemy fire. Big ceremony, photos with the rescued family, the whole deal. That Afghan governor still sends me Christmas cards every year. His son, the one with the leg wound, just graduated from medical school in Kabul, wants to be a trauma surgeon because of what he saw that day. His letter last month said he's dedicating his career to saving lives, just like the American soldier saved his. Parker never spoke to me again after that incident. Heard through the grapevine he got out of the army about a year later. Couldn't handle having his judgment questioned by a specialist. Collins made sergeant first class and stayed in. Retired last year after 22 years of service. Still keeps a photo from that ceremony on his desk.